My name's Adam Monaco and I'm the Financial Controller for Hi-Tech Oils. With our national capacity, we can now service Australian companies nationwide. Of late, we have now expanded into the New Zealand market. Here at Hi-Tech Oils, we receive premium base oils and premium additive packs. Together, with our highly trained staff, we manufacture over 500 premium quality products. Hi-Tech Oils is Australian made and Australian owned.
The super season begins now.
Hello and welcome to the World Endurance Championship Super Season. This season we have 8 rounds, starting here in Spa in May 2018, going all the way through to June 2019, and of course including the famous 24 hours of Le Mans, not once, but twice. And right here are all of our Super Season contenders. Let's go!
Radio check, David. Radio check, Alex.
One side we have a very efficient car with a hybrid system, and then for the other side we have a very performant car with a lot of power, a lot of kind of muscle car, you know. It's gonna be exciting.
Endurance is going towards a sprint race. You know, the reliability of the cars are really good, and we can push, you know, from the first lap until the end, until the checkered flag. So whatever the category, LMP1, LMP2 or GT, you can see that the fight is from lap 1 to the end.
A race series to win, actually. So this is definitely our aim, but when we can fulfill this aim, we don't know yet. My plan is to definitely be on the podium or win a race this season, yes.
He's been a guest on our grid a few times over the years, and Fernando Alonso has never made it a secret that he's interested in the World Endurance Championship. Now, Fernando, officially, you're joining us for the full season in WEC with Toyota. Is it good to finally get started?
Yeah, definitely. You know, very excited. At the end, here I am not only for watch the race and you know, support some of my friends here. I'm here just because I will race, and this is the first experience in WEC, and you know, very excited.
So tell me about the integration within the team. Anthony Davidson said you're already one of the lads. So how has it coming into a team with 3 drivers in your car?
It has been great. You know, from day one, I felt, you know, a great group of people here, all drivers, you know, working together, spending time together, lunch, dinners, you know, sharing the car back to the hotel and things like that. So, you know, it's very easy to get integrated here.
Do you think, or is that part of what appeals to you, the endurance and the spirit of Le Mans?
I think from very early age, when you are a go-kart driver, you dream with some races, and when you are in one of those iconic events in motorsport, everything makes sense. What you did, you know, from very early age, your family, your sacrifices, everything makes sense when you are there in the driver's presentation or at the start on those events.
What's the goal for this super season? We know that you're looking for that triple crown, but what's the goal for now?
Winning the World Championship and winning the Tour Le Mans.
Good. Good answer.
Stunning sunny weather on Saturday, race day at Spa-Francorchamps, and the place is absolutely heaving. Super season gets underway with the best possible conditions in the Belgian Ardennes. The fans are jamming the pit lane to meet their heroes.
Nice to be at home, first race. Spa is always special, so yeah, great to be here.
The World Endurance Championship offers fans unrivaled access to their drivers in the pit lane, in the paddock, and even on the grid. And the drivers respond in kind.
For me, grew up in Belgium, so it's great to have so many fans, and they come from everywhere, from England, from Germany, from Holland, from Belgium, so it's great to kick off the year like this, and we start in front row, so it's been good so far.
Just getting ready for the FIA World Endurance Championship season opener here in Spa as the cars are starting to form on the grid. We've got the crowds here, which we always see. We've got the sun here, which we sometimes see. And we also have Alan McNish, who's going to be joining us for our TV coverage throughout the season. So hello, Alan.
Hello, it's fantastic to be back,
isn't it just?
Beautiful sunshine.
So this season we've got some big names throughout the paddock, but particularly looking at LMP1, we actually today do not know what we're going to see.
No, we've definitely got some stars in cars, there's no question about that. But in LMP1, we've got now the new generation of LMP1s, and they're taking it to Toyota. We're going to have to wait and see at the end of the 6 hours what is going to happen there. Further back, I tell you what, that GTE Pro battle is going to be immense as well.
Well, yes, we are going to have to wait for the 6 hours, but first let's see who's on the grid and where they are.
GTE and pole sitters, veteran Team Dempsey Proton Racing, ahead of Aston Martin and Team Project One's Porsche. Aston Martin bringing a brand new GTE car to the Pro class, BMW bringing a brand new M8 as well. But among the more familiar machinery, it was Ferrari versus Ford versus Porsche, and it was Ford who came out on top in qualifying. The 67 team, Harry Tincknell, Andy Priaulx, joined by Tony Kanaan here and at Le Mans.
Look at this, a fantastic crowd, beautiful weather, a full grid of cars, and the start of the super season. What more can you ask for? We're starting from pole position in 67. I'm really excited about the season, and I hope we have a good race, but in the GT Pro class, it's a really tough fight now, so very, very excited to be part of that.
The battle at the front of LMP2 featured familiar names, Alpine taking pole position, but their rivals G-Drive and Jackie Chan DC Racing filling the next 3 spots on the grid. Changing times in LMP1, a new generation of non-hybrid prototypes coming to take the battle to Toyota. 2 coming from SMP Racing, and a pair as Rebellion return to the Premier class for the first time since 2016. And it's the first time a non-hybrid car has started on the front row of the grid since 2012.
To be on the grid here in front row is something quite special. If you think that it's only the 3rd time we're on the track from the prologue a month ago, it's quite an impressive achievement. So Toyota managed to screw it up, but obviously they will be faster in the race and overtake us. So if we can do a podium, obviously it'd be great.
Toyota's number 8 car, Sebastian Buemi, Kazuki Nakajima and Fernando Alonso would start on pole, but the fastest car in qualifying had been disallowed its time because of a paperwork technicality, and they would start from the pits.
I'm happy to be here. Of course, a bit sad for car number 7. They've done a better job than us yesterday, so they deserve the pole more than us, but okay, now it's like that, and we try to do the best we can from this position. It's a very long race, so pole position is good, but doesn't matter much. So we will focus on making sure we get a clean weekend.
Start the formation lap for the 6 hours Spa.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The green flag for the start of we have the green flag for the start of the formation lap. The start of the formation lap.
New cars, new teams, new drivers. Familiar faces, young and old. The days of testing and planning are done. Super season is just moments away. The 6 hours of Spa-Francorchamps gets underway. Sebastian Buemi on the left of the shots. The Toyota immediately under pressure from behind. Thomas Laurent around the outside. Andre Lotterer looks for the lead. The SMP car runs out very wide. Vitaly Petrov. And he will rejoin back in 4th. Harry Tingle way out wide. So too the LMP2 pole sitter. Nico Lapierre getting shuffled out of the pack. And it is the Toyota ahead of the pair of Rebellions by Colles in 4th. Everybody else sweeping through Eau Rouge. Take a look again. Petrov locks up on the outside and Lapierre follows him in. Oh, Lapierre finds there's too many cars. He gets jumped around the outside and there's nowhere to go. Rejoins over the yellow line. You're not supposed to do that. Well, there from above you see Harry Tincknell rejoining right at the end of the runoff area behind the 66 Ford, so a place change in the GTE Pro class, and immediately the Toyota number 8 under pressure. Toyota number 7 not allowed to start until after the end of lap 1 from the pit lane, so they will start a lap down and 6 hours to try and make up that ground. GTE Pro battle. Stefan Mucker leads for Ford. Jimmy Bruni, his first World Endurance race for Porsche, up to second, ahead of Harry Tincknell. It is Ford versus Porsche, the new BMW and the Ferrari battling behind, and Aston Martin struggling with their brand new car on its debut. On board the 92 Porsche with Kevin Estre, and trouble for the Gulf Porsche. First time out with the brand new car. And that's Mike Wainwright, and he's off at Les Combes. And here's what happens in front. Spirit of Race, the silver Ferrari on the inside of MR Racing's new car. Around he goes, and where's Wainwright? Oh, going off in avoidance. That's really bad luck. Safety car has been scrambled to allow the Porsche to be recovered, and as the safety car queue clears the pit exit, the number 7 Toyota begins its race. A lap down and lots of work to do. Green flag. Sebastian Buemi jumps away from the field. Andre Lotterer in second for Rebellion. Teammate Thomas Laurent, the young sensation from LMP2 last year, in third. And it's G-Drive who lead in LMP2 as the BMWs and the Ferraris battle behind the Ford Porsche battle for GTE Pro. Alessandro Pierguidi there, chasing Antonio Felix da Costa's BMW. Change the lead in LMP2. The yellow Racing Team Netherlands De Lara of Kiedo van der Garde goes around the outside of G-Drive's Roman Rusinov. Take a look at this. Classic Spa action, late on the brakes, and through he goes. Matthias Lauda finally getting a break in traffic to come around Christian Ried in the 77 Porsche, the pole sitter. Matthias Lauda, the reigning champion, the 98 Aston Martin in the lead of GTE AM. Egidio Perfetti's Project 1 Porsche right behind. Battle for fourth place features the Bicoles, Tom Dillman at the wheel. Behind him, the car that started last on the grid after problems in qualifying, Stefan Sarazan in SMP Racing's new P1 car. Leader in the pits after 40 minutes, Sebastian Buemi, fuel only, with only 4 sets of tyres plus 2 more for the entire 6-hour race. Tyres will be a major factor here. They can't be changed at will. Rebellion pitting both cars from second and third. Andre Lotterer heads off first, ahead of new boy Thomas Laurent. And problems for Bicoles, a brief fire in the exhaust, and then they get tangled up as they leave the pit lane. LMP2 leader in the pit lane, Racing Team Netherlands, featuring 61-year-old Formula Mans winner Jan Lammers with Frits van Aert in the car driven by Kiedo van der Garde. And the number 7 Toyota continues its chase up the order. Mike Conway, a man on a mission. Fuel and a quick drink, clean of the screen, and he's back on his way. Toyota leading from the 2 Rebellions and SMP 4th and 5th. Number 8 Toyota working its way through traffic, a constant in World Endurance Racing. From the first 3 or 4 laps, the fastest cars are always trying to work their way through other class battles. And here he jumps his way through the Fords and the Porsche, battling for the lead in GTE Pro. Dragon Speed with their LMP2 car up to second place behind Racing Team Netherlands. A Venezuelan Pastor Maldonado making his World Endurance debut under pressure. Pressure too for the second place Porsche in GTE Pro. Harry Tincknell right behind him, trying to make it a Ford 1-2. Jimmy Bruni, last time out in World Endurance, he had been part of Ferrari's program. Now a year racing for Porsche in the States, and he's back with Porsche in World Endurance. The Fords and the Porsches, both well-known properties after Ford introduced their car 3 years ago. Porsche theirs last season, and the new boys on the block, BMW and Aston Martin, struggling to get the best out of the new machinery. In the battle for sixth, Antonio Felix da Costa still holding off the Ferrari of Davide Rigon. Ferrari winning driver, team and manufacturers titles in GTE Pro last year have paid the penalty with reduced performance for the super season. '67 Ford into the pits from third place, and fresh tyres going on, left sides only. In comes the 91 Porsche. Class leader after the Fords stopped. Jimmy Pruney handing over to Richard Leitz. The Austrian showing just how compact the driver's cockpit is. Michael Christensen takes over his Porsche as well. Drama at Eau Rouge, that's Harry Tincknell. The Ford is wrecked, and that has clearly been a high-speed accident. The 67 car in second place. The Ford's nose to tail after the stops, and it spears straight off into the barriers. And look at the debris field. This is the 91 Porsche. Hits a big bit of broken Ford. And Tincknell, a passenger there, exactly where Pietro Fittipaldi went off in qualifying in his LMP1 car.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what happened, but definitely was some sort of a failure. We actually had put the new tires on the left side, and the pressures were up. I mean, we looked at everything, so we don't know what happened yet, but definitely something happened. It wasn't Harry's fault. I'm glad that he's okay.
And so say all of us. Safety car remains out, pit stop for Racing Team Netherlands, but drama for the LMP2 leader. They've been wheeled back into the garage, and this is bad news for the team and their Dallara chassis.
Yeah, it was going really, really well. I quite enjoyed myself out there. Of course, it's been 1 year I'm not racing, and to have a start like this, being leading after a couple of laps, and pull away 22nd was just amazing. The car was driving absolutely nice. But it was a pity. We just under the safety car, we got a problem with the alternator, the battery, and we had to come in. So hopefully they can solve it now, and we try to go out again.
All the teams reacting to the safety car coming in and topping up with fuel. Number 7 Toyota. You can see the driver's helper in the doorway to do the belts up. And this will be the first time that Fernando Alonso drives in the World Endurance Championship in anger. Driver change at the number 3 Rebellion. Out gets Thomas Laurent after a good opening stint. Rebellion back where they always wanted to be in LMP1. On board with Kamui Kobayashi, trying to get a lap back from race leader Fernando Alonso. Alonso's first racing laps, really intense, thick traffic, all classes mingled around him, and a teammate harassing to get by to undo that lap disadvantage. Kobayashi looking at the inside, Alonso keeping his line. And just look at the speed of the Toyota carving through the GT traffic and having to fringe out there onto the grass. It's like a video game on board. Fernando Alonso passing cars at a rate that he's never experienced. In the LMP2 battle, Jean-Eric Verne now at the wheel of the G-Drive car. And the Jackie Chan DC racing machine desperately trying to get by, using every trick in the book. On board with 36 now, closing in on the lead battle in LMP2. There's the 37 Jackie Chan DC racing car, 38 right behind, and a blue Signatec Alpine car in the mix as well. Aston Martin versus Ferrari. Davide Rigon being chased by Alex Lynn. And Right behind him, the BMW. Sam Bird watching proceedings from the garage. Take a look here as the number 7 Toyota unlaps itself. They've still got 2 minutes to make up on their teammates.
It was kind of weird starting in the pit lane, to be honest, but we know, kind of what we had to do, and did have a little bit of help with the, full course yellows and the safety cars, so that kind of went our way. But still, to unlap ourselves was 1 feat, and then we got to catch that lap back up again. So we're hanging in there, just push all the way to the end, really, and see where we end up.
Battle for second in LMP2, and it is between the two Jackie Chan DC racing cars. From behind, Spa-Francorchamps with the black nose in 38, comes by Weiron Tan, part of an all-Malaysian rookie lineup in 37, new to the World Endurance Championship. 98 versus 77 again, this time Paul Dallalana in second in the Aston Martin. 18-year-old rookie sensation Julian Andlauer in the 77 Dempsey Proton Porsche, a real Porsche Carrera Cup expert, and showing great pace as the mistake from Dallalana allows the Porsche driver to grab second spot.
Fernando, try Alpha 49, Alpha 49, we reduce the boost exit turn 14 to help rear tires. The rear tires are definitely too hot at the moment, the rear are too hot.
Perhaps the only thing about World Endurance Racing that will be familiar to Fernando Alonso is the constant stream of radio traffic changing the setup of the car. Toyota trying to preserve the rear tyres by reducing some of the hybrid input off the corners. GTE Pro battle, still Ford with 1 car in the hunt, but Stefan Mucker's Ford GT being monstered now by Michael Christensen. Mucker cuts off the line on the exit of La Source, keeps his nose in front for the moment, but early on in the stints, the Porsche seems to have the upper hand. The longer the tyres are run, the better the Ford fares. Oh, phenomenal stuff through Eau Rouge, absolutely on the ragged edge of adhesion. Christensen shows his nose at Les Combes. That has been neatly covered off by Stefan Mucker. And in the second part of the lap now, the Ford more than holds its own, but it is going to be a long battle for both teams. Problems for the 77 Dempsey Proton car coming back to the pit lane, but it was running very slowly, dropping down the order to third in the GTE AM class. Now, what is their issue? Has it run out of fuel? Into the garage it goes. Well, that is a major problem for Dempsey Proton with their front-running car, and there's the other car, the 88, is in the gravel on the same lap. Disaster for Dempsey Proton. Giorgio Roda has backed it off. Oh, and that's a big impact. Long faces at Dempsey Proton.
3, 2, 1, full course yellow. We are under full course yellow.
Full course yellow, all cars proceed at 80 kilometers an hour, and there's near disaster for Rebellion as the number 1 car gets on the brakes for the speed limiter in front of number 3. Pit stop for the GTE Pro leaders as well. 91 Porsche comes in from the lead. Driver change. Jimmy Bruni taking over, and both Toyotas are in as well. And the hunt continues. Number 7 having to be double clever on strategy. Away they go, still on the lead lap. And a change of rear wing for the number 8 car, and Fernando Alonso dialing in a little bit more downforce to help protect those vulnerable rear tyres. With nearly 1,000 horsepower on hybrid boost, they have a lot of work to do. Dempsey Proton's 88 car, dangling a mirror, has been rescued from the gravel, and we go back to green flag racing. Battle for 5th place in GTE Pro, Sam Bird in the 71 Ferrari, but his car is still stuck behind the BMW. That's Tom Blomqvist now in the 82 car he shares with Antonio Felix da Costa. Bird goes through, finds a little gap. Now, can he make use of the Ferrari speed and try and escape the BMW? Lead battle, Porsche, Ford, Porsche. Now the Porsches are 1-2, and coming from behind, Billy Johnson, the third driver in the 66 car. The 66 Ford has been there or thereabouts all race. Larry Holt's the head of Multimatics that runs and builds the GT program, showing just how much the car was oversteering, and now Billy Johnson finds a way through, back up in between the Porsches into second place. 2.5 hours in, 3.5 hours to go. The battle shows no signs of abating in GTE Pro.
Okay, Fernando, how is the car balance? How is the car balance for you? Anything on the system we can help you? 25.6.
Balance is much better now, but I have a little bit of front-locking drive. The front wheel is quite high.
Fernando, you have any comments for next driver at this stage?
I think the balance is good now. It is now for just, yeah.
Driver-engineer dialogue working on the performance of the car for this race and, of course, for Le Mans, and, unusually for a Formula One driver, to help out a teammate. Key pit stop now in the battle in LMP1 as Gustavo Menezes hands over the third-placed Rebellion to Matthias Besch. Number 8 Toyota leading, number 1 Rebellion second, but that pit stop allows the number 7 Toyota to move up into third place. They're out of pit stop sequence with the other LMP1 cars, but they are closing on a podium finish. Fresh tyres and fresh driver is the way to go. Double stint both, or triple if the driver's up to it, in the heat here at Spa. Number 1 Rebellion in from second place. Driver change as Neil Gianni brings his seat insert to take over from Bruno Senna. And the seats are tailored to millimetre perfection to fit each driver. And in the split screen, the Toyota goes through into second position. But they are out of sync with both Rebellions, so that will jockey around for the next hour or so. But clearly, barring disaster, the number 7 Toyota is destined for the podium. Pit stop for the number 7 car. Number 8 also comes in across his nose. Fernando Alonso with a double stint in the number 8 car. Belts undone, door open, a first for him in motor racing. All the testing is done, and Alonso has now completed his first ever World Endurance race stint.
Yeah, it was good. I think, yeah, a little bit of mix with the traffic and with the car balance. We're struggling a little bit with oversteer, but I think it was a good first experience.
And they still have nearly a lap in hand over their teammates. LMP2 leader, G-Drive with Jean-Eric Verne really stretching away at the front of the P2 field.
I need the box, I need the box, drive ahead, I need to drive ahead, I need the box.
Okay, copy, box this lap, box this lap.
And you can see why. Look at his seatbelt buckle. The seatbelts were either not done up or have sprung open. And this is a major drama. Because of the hands device and the helmet, the driver can't see down to do them up. And that cost them nearly 50 seconds of their 2-minute lead. The number 8 car is losing ground. Trouble at the bus stop chicane. The 2 SMP LMP1 cars falling over the Sambird Davide Rigon Ferrari. Oh, that could have been a big 3-car shunt. Luckily, they all got away with it. On board with Toyota number 7 on the Kemmel Straight, blasting past both of the Rebellions. Now up to second place on pace as he goes by the number 3 car. 3 hours in, 3 hours down, Toyota 1-2.
Okay, I'm going to overtake. Copy, deal, copy. You are allowed to overtake. It needs to be clean. No contact.
Absolutely. Rebellion looking for a top 2 in normally aspirated LMP1 cars. Neil Gianni complaining he's quicker than Matthias Besch. And Besch leaves the door open. Gianni up the inside and through for third. GT Pro leader in the pits. Fuel and tyres going on. Driver change as well as Richard Leitz takes over from Jimmy Bruni. Bruni helping with the belts. Jean Todt in the centre, Pierre Fillon, the president of the ACO, Le Mans. On the left-hand side of your picture, the tall figure of Gerard Neveu, the man who is behind the World Endurance Championship. And Richard Mille, arch enthusiast and now president of the FIA Endurance Commission. Midway point to the 6 hours of Spa-Francorchamps, Toyota 1-2 ahead of the Rebellions and SMP. G-Drive stretching away from Cinetec Alpine in LMP2. Porsche versus Ford, the story at the front of the GTE Pro class. And in GTE AM, it's Aston Martin 1-2, 98 ahead of TF Sport, the newcomers. Only one car is out, the 67 Ford, and they've completed nearly 600 kilometres. Drama at Les Combes for the number 7 Toyota, pushing as hard as they can. Just about getting away with that, Kamui Kobayashi.
And at this moment we stay with the plan. We change 2 front tires, and full tank. You okay with that? Okay.
There's the strategy for the number 8 Toyota. The race leader started on pole position and have led every lap so far. But the pressure from their teammates in number 7 is absolutely for real. An unusual experience for Fernando Alonso, still in the race, yet watching the action from the pit wall. That doesn't happen in Formula 1. Stop and go penalty for the 92 Porsche from 3rd place. Kevin Estre penalised for wheel spinning as he left the pit stand. And that puts him under real pressure from the 2 Ferraris closing fast from behind. There's James Collado. Where's Sam Bird? He was right with him, but Bird's been held up in traffic. And Estre gets through. Around comes the LMP1 Rebellion. But the 2 Ferraris were nose to tail. If they had been, the Porsche would have lost 2 spots. As it is, there is a Ferrari in a podium position for the first time. Unscheduled stop for Rebellion at number 1, Neil Jani. They have an issue with their data transmission system. The FIA and the ACO monitor the performance of the cars, fuel flow, energy usage and so on, and their system is not transmitting properly.
Basically, we have to carry a device that's been provided from the FIA to know where the car is, the GPS, or I don't know all the details, and that device failed. And when it fails, the race control wants you to pit and change. It has nothing to do with our car. Everything was running well, so it's annoying because it's not in our control, and it's something that ruins our race, obviously. So I'm not impressed. Yeah.
Trouble in the pits for the 71 Ferrari from 3rd place. There's damage on the front of the car. It stopped, leaving the pit lane. Came to a grinding halt. This is Alessandro Pierguidi coming out of the pits, and something's hit him, or he's hit something. Tries to continue and realises there a drama. There is the black and yellow AM class car of Egidio Perfetti. The Ferrari was released into its path. Broken left front suspension, damage on the right rear of the Project 1 Porsche, and there will be a penalty for unsafe release for Ferrari as well. Battle for 3rd, Rebellion versus SMP. In comes Matthias Besch to hand over to Thomas Laurent, and as he does so, through goes Matevos Isakian, rookie in the championship, one of 2 Russians sharing with Stefan Sarazan in the 17 SMP racing car. And they have now moved up from last on the grid into 3rd overall, 3rd in LMP1. Battle of the Aston Martin teammates. Here at home, Maxime Martin, the Belgian. Behind him, the Dane train, Nicky Thiem, and his regular partner, Marco Sorensen, with Darren Turner, the 3rd driver in a 95 Aston Martin this year. And Aston know, first race out with this car, it's unlikely to be a race winner, but they're looking at the long game. Matevos Isakian for SMP Racing in 3rd place. Fellow teenager Thomas Laurent, who made his debut in the World Endurance Championship sensationally last year, is chasing him down. Oh, huge moment for Isakian. Wow, how did he get away with that? The fastest point on the circuit, and he flew off into the filth, and suddenly now he's under real pressure. Take a look at this. He just keeps his foot buried in the throttle, and he probably didn't even have time to pray. Matevos Issakan, red, white and blue, the colours of Russia on the SMP P1 prototype, held up behind the Porsche into Eau Rouge, and now he's dead in the water. Look at Thomas Laurent, foot on the gas, straight by him. Issakan, a moment of indecision, costs him a spot on the podium. Fantastic battle between the new boys, Rebellion and SMP in the P1 category. All about Toyota? I don't think so. The new breed are producing plenty of action as well. Leader in the pits. And Fernando Alonso will take over. This will be the last driver change as Kaz Nakajima steps out. So Alonso will take the car to the checkered flag, all things being equal.
Okay, Jimmy, 8 laps to go. I start to think that the light is changing, the track is cooling. If you want to stay in the car for the last stint, for us it's fine. In other case, Richie is ready. Think about it, under 8 laps.
Heading towards the final hour, and will the drivers stay in as they are experienced with the track changing, or hand over to fresher eyes and hands? Porsche leading in the GTE Pro class, and trouble for the Spirit of Race Ferrari. It is running very slowly up the Kemmel Straight, and that looks like that might be the end of their race with just an hour to go.
There was an electrical problem, and then Francesco he switched it on and he's back, so now will be the next.
Safety car is out. Now Spirit of Race. Oh! That's SMP! And which is that? That's the number 17 car. That is a huge accident exiting Rédillon. Well, Matevos Issakan is okay, but the car is absolutely destroyed. Cameras didn't catch the crash. What does the team know?
We don't know anything at the moment. We just saw the car crash. Matos out of the car, so it's okay, no problem. But the car is destroyed, and we finished the race for today. So it's a shame. It's a part of the game, but we were very fast chasing the podium, so it was good for the team. But it's a race, you know.
Into the final hour, Toyota leads LMP1, G-Drive in P2, Porsche in GTE Pro, and the champions Aston Martin lead in GTE AM. Final hour of racing, green flags, we are back underway. A whole host of final pit stops from the GTE field and battles all the way down the order. Still the number 7 Toyota in second, chasing car number 8. And you can see it is a very busy pit lane. These may well be the final stops. Fresh left side tyres going on the 66 Ford. Oh, and trouble for 91. Even a second lost in the pits now might cost them victory. They get back out inches in front of the Ford. That is your GTE Pro battle as we head into the final stages. The sun heading towards the horizon at the end of a beautiful day in Spa-Francorchamps. Not a single soul is leaving. And here's why. Action through every class. Battle on for the lead in GTE Pro. And the Ford with fresher tyres now coming hard at the Porsche down the inside. He's trying to build an overlap. Somebody's got to blink here. 2 into 1 is going to be very difficult indeed. This is absolutely edge of the seat stuff, and somehow they both survive. The Porsche loses ground. The Ford goes through. Absolutely sensational racing. If they touched there would have been an airplane crash. Number 8 Toyota heading into the final stages here at Spa-Francorchamps has led every lap, but the gap comes down with every passing moment. The number 7 is now just 7 seconds behind.
Yeah, it has been a lot going on, especially for me. I had many issues, mistakes, traffic has been very tricky, and yeah, I had to complete a triple stint as well, so it was a lot of things going on.
GTE Pro battle for second place. Michael Christensen going up the inside of Richard Leeds, and I think the team had coordinated that, but maybe not quite as well as they would have liked. That was almost contact. Leeds has gone from first to third in GTE Pro, but at least the Aston Martin behind isn't a threat. That is a lap behind. Into the pit lane for the final time. The chasing Toyota number 7 stops for fuel. Number 8 continues. Ooh, and in traffic. That is the battle for the lead. Number 7 diving in. Very close battle for the lead of the race with 24 minutes to go. Fernando Alonso receiving the last sips of fuel. And on the in-lap, look how hard he was pushing. Right out there in the danger zone. On hybrid power, speed limiter on. And then as he leaves the pit lane, the internal combustion engine fires up and he's on his way. LMP2 leader, and comfortably so. G-Drive, 27 seconds ahead of their rivals. Roman Rusinov and Andrea Pizzitola have done their job, but Jean-Eric Verne has really pushed them to the front of the field. The Toyota's running nose to tail in traffic. The number 7 car started from the pit lane a lap in arrears and now in a position perhaps to win this race, the season opener. GTE AM battle. Pedro Lamy in the 98 Aston, Ewan Hankey in the number 90 TF Sport car, locks up on the inside. They just about survive wheel to wheel. This is the battle for victory. The rookies TF Sport, 8 minutes from the checkered flag, pushing with everything they've got. Richard Leeds struggling to hang on to the podium. Maybe 2 more laps for Davide Rigon to try and get by. The Ferraris have struggled all race to get through past the Porsches.
The front right is gone.
Front right is gone. Well, Ferrari may not have heard that, but certainly Davide Rigon knows that the Porsche is struggling around the outside at Rivage. A huge chance there, didn't have the traction to get through. Look at the LMP2 car behind, wisely not trying to stick his nose in this battle because the Ferrari has all its attention taken up by the Porsche. Through comes the number 50 Labra P2 car, and that breaks up the battle. Look again. The Ferrari with just a little more grip, but the Porsche drifts out wide, and the Ferrari's on the dirt, can't complete the move. In traffic, Richard Leeds desperate to hold on. Grandstand view from the 97 Aston Martin, not part of this, but oh, what's going on? Very slow car, that's the Spirit of Race Ferrari. Wow, and they went either side of him. I don't think they expected that. Take a look. Oh, the Ferrari slows right down with the battle behind, trying not to get involved, nearly caused a big pileup. A minute to go. Is this the last chance for Davide Rigon? Throws it to the inside in the bus stop chicane. Bundles the Porsche out of third. I'm coming through, mate. And he's through into third position. Wow, what a move. That might have been the last chance for Davide Rigon, and he grabbed it with both hands. Exemplary performance from the number 8 Toyota. Started at the front and have stayed at the front. And their big name signing over the winter, Fernando Alonso, is the man who will take the checkered flag for the number 8 Toyota.
Fernando, well done, not too bad like for starter. Fantastic, really, really good job. Thank you very much.
Not so bad for a first start. Sebastian Buemi, Kazuki Nakajima and Fernando Alonso win the 6 hours of Spa-Francorchamps and take the Super Season Championship lead.
I was telling the guys before, a long time that I was not in the podium, so I will be here all night long, until tomorrow morning.
And Ford coming out on top of a tight GTE Pro battle, the first ever World Endurance win for the team of 66.
Definitely a great weekend. It's the first win for the 66 car. It's been a long time coming, and can't thank my teammates, the whole team, everybody at Ford Performance for all that they do, and definitely a great result.
T-Drive Racing were the dominant force in LMP2, claiming the first win of the season, and the defending GTE AM champions, the 98 Aston team, came out on top again. In front of a huge crowd, a chance to celebrate all 4 class-winning teams as they gather together pre-podium in victory lane. Mixed emotions at Ford, big crash for the 67 car. Fortunately, Harry Tinknell gets away without injury. But a first ever win in World Endurance for car number 66, with Porsche and Ferrari also on the GTE Pro podium. Aston Martin and BMW need to find a bit more pace. Overall, it could have been a fairy tale story. From the pit lane a lap back, the number 7 car nearly won it, but in the end it's another fairy tale, a Spanish story for Fernando Alonso as he claims his first ever World Endurance victory on his debut with Kazuki Nakajima and Sebastian Buemi. Rebellion's joy at finishing with the number 1 car in third was short-lived. It was excluded after the race, but the number 3 car took its place. Lots of action in all 4 classes and lots to think about after Spa. And next time out, we head to the big one, to Le Mans.
And it's green, and we are go! Is he going to be able to go around the outside or the inside?
But we look it, but we don't see anything.